Everyone talks about success like it's this massive, public, Instagrammable moment. But what if you're chasing success and you still don't feel like a success? Well, today we're flipping the definition because real success isn't what the world sees. It's your first personal breakthrough, the thing you did that made you proud. We're going to break down how to create that breakthrough, why it matters more than any business win, and how it can shift your entire mindset and set you up for ongoing successes in the future. So stick around because by the end of this episode, you'll know how to engineer a personal win that fuels the next level of your life and business. No outside validation needed, just you and proof that you can do hard things. Welcome to King Moves. In chess, the king moves one step at a time, but that single move can change everything. Each week, we explore mindset shifts and simple actions that could lead to the next breakthrough in your business and life. I'm your co-host, Ethan King, from Atlanta, Georgia, USA. Entrepreneur, TEDx speaker, and best-selling author of Wealth Beyond Money.
And I'm your co-host, Justin King, no relation to Ethan, from Cape Town, South Africa. Entrepreneur, speaker, and business growth strategist. Our journey crosses continents and cultures as we think out loud, challenge assumptions, and uncover the small moves that create big momentum. Welcome to King Moves. Let's start the conversation.
Now, if you tuned into a recent episode where Justin gave me a therapy session and helped me to discover my one word that I would like to be known for, which ended up being innovation, now I'm flipping it on Justin. What is Justin King's one word that you would like to be known for? If someone were receiving or an award when you're late in life, or maybe you've passed on, and somebody says, here is the Justin King Award for blank, what would that word be?
I thought we were going with a tattoo question. So I was like, okay, what's a cool tattoo? But now it's an award, so that makes it even more tricky.
Oh, okay. It could be a tattoo too. What are your fans getting tattooed?
I like the idea of the award. So we're going to flip the therapy session now, because this is where I get stuck. Because the way my mind works, it is often, well, what would Ethan like to hear in this moment? Or like, what would other people like to hear? What would sound cool? What would position me in a nice way for people that are listening this to understand about me? It's tricky. So I'm being very, I don't want to say vulnerable in that moment, but I'm brutally honest in that's what starts going through my mind. The word that came up, I will share the immediate word that came up. I'd love it to be the Pride Award, not like gay pride or anything like that. I'm not stepping over to that, but proud, as in being proud of ourselves. And I suppose that comes down to a lot of the work that I do with individuals and with teams. And if the people off the back of working with me start feeling a little bit more proud of themselves, what they've been able to do, like I'd be really very chuffed, is to use that word. I'd be very chuffed about that.
So you say proud. I'm telling you what comes to my mind, because you have to do something to become proud of yourself. What are you proud of that you did? And I think that, and we were talking about this a little bit earlier, the phrase mental performance came out. And I know that you do a lot of coaching around doing hard things and Masogi, and that leads to being proud of yourself. So the word performance comes out when I think of Justin King, but it's also, performance can mean a lot of things. Some people think about performing in a play or whatnot, but it's really about breakthroughs, breaking through a mental barrier to achieve what you thought you could not achieve. And that is something to be proud of.
Yeah, it's the word, another word, and we bring in a lot of words into this that I've been sitting with a lot, is just how do I help people stack evidence? Evidence is that word. And it's and performance is a difficult one for me, because a lot of people speak a lot about high performance. And I'm sometimes saying, let's be high functioning before we are high performing, or let's just make sure that we are managing our standards. So what are we not willing to slip below before we really start reaching for high performance? Because that will come off the back of that. So for me, it's about how do I get people to understand that the standards that they expect of themselves and the standards that they set are really what drive their performance ultimately. So an example would be getting somebody to do something tough, committing to doing a run, whatever it is, committing to climbing the biggest hill or mountain in your area. Well, maybe I don't want to say mountain, undertaking something challenging. The standards leading up to that are what are going to get you started and get you across the finish line. It is the fact that I know I've got to do X amount of training leading up to that thing. So I think that for me is, how do I get people to believe that they've got better standards at a floor than they believe they are? And then how do I get them to get evidence that they are capable? And then if we can start building those standards, the evidence, and a mindset together, a mindset of belief, that's powerful, rather than just getting the mindset sorted, which is a huge part. But if we stack the mindset with evidence and the standards that they've set for themselves, I think that's where people can really break through, to use the word that you came up with a little bit earlier.
Okay, so I'll do like you did for me. What does the word breakthrough mean?
Possibly to do something you didn't previously think was possible.
So I'll give you the Merriam-Webster definition. Of course, there are lots of definitions, but the first one is a sudden advance, especially in knowledge or technique. Another definition is a person's first notable success, an act or instance of moving through or beyond an obstacle, an instance of passing through a barrier. All right. Those are pretty much...
I like those. You know, it's interesting because they all resonate. Maybe not the first one so much. Can't remember what it was, but it's just like, I'm not so sure about that. But a person's first instance of success. You know why that jumps out at me is because, and you know this, you work with a lot of different people as well, but it doesn't matter how successful that person on the other side is. Everyone's got some, like, sitting with some imposter syndrome or some feeling that I'm not successful yet. So when working with individuals, sometimes the success that we come up with is not necessarily on paper a bigger success than the business or something that they've done outside of that. It's not bigger than that. But for them, it resonates. And they're like, man, that's the biggest personal success. Doing that hard thing, climbing that hill, completing that 10K run, whatever it is. Like, I didn't think I would ever be able to do something. And that's my first instance of success for myself, that I didn't know if I was truly capable of doing that. So that resonated. I do like that. I like that.
And you mentioned the word challenge also as you were talking, and I looked that up. And one of the definitions that stands out to me is to confront or defy boldly. So it's that word bold. And bold means different things to different people. But I feel like you bring out the boldness in people to break through their own personal barriers to achieve their own personal success. So this is what it gets down to, because it's not about success, how the world sees success, but this is your personal success. For some people, it might be running a 10K. For you, is running 10 marathons in 10 days, but they're both equally success if I've never gotten off the couch and I run a 10K, that's success. So so the fact that you are motivating people to take bold action, I would say, and I guess it can be two words. To me, your brand is synonymous with personal breakthroughs.
Yeah, I like that. Personal breakthroughs, it's success through their own eyes. And if we can actually bring this full circle back to the word proud, because if we can also get somebody, or I can get somebody to see that thing that they've done as a success in their own eyes, immediately that means that they'll feel proud of themselves. Absolutely. And that fuels the personal breakthrough.
Yeah. And when you're proud of yourself and you know that I can do this, if I did this one thing, I can do this, and 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 nothing can stop me. So seeding that by helping them get that first personal breakthrough, because they've never done it before, by that dictionary definition, can be a catalyst for all the other successes in their lives. So I think it's a very important mission that you're doing there, Justin. And
appreciate it.
That term being synonymous with your name.
Appreciate it. And I'll credit your invoice for this session.
That's a wrap for today's episode of King Moves. Remember, in chess, like in business, one right move can change everything. Take today's action step, make your move, and build momentum.
If you found value in today's episode, share it with someone who's ready for their next breakthrough, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss our weekly conversations. Until next time.